to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. Yeah, we Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops and fine to these Urkels that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry for spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing sun up, baby.
Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? Wrong drops. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty, and you're watching Off Script. Now, listen, listen. You think that you know people, but you really don't. All right, you got to get inside. Listen. It's a bigger world out there just to swat. All right. So listen, today's special guest is going to give you an outlook and an outreach. I'm probably telling you, it's probably gonna blow your mind. Just a little aspect of his journey, his life, and how everything transpired and where he is now today. All right. You can get very far in life in different paths. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you become a member of All Script and all that jazz. You already know what it is. And make sure you do what you do. But watch my shoes. The light police is right over there staring at me, looking at y'all. All right. So make sure you do that. Listen, today's special guest was drafted from a Division II school. So when you hear the token like they will come find you, they will come find you. I didn't say, free agent picked up. No. He got a phone call from a Division II school. All right. Please give it up for my guest today, straight out of Memphis, Greg Moore.
What's going on?
Talk to me.
What's going on? Hey, I love what you're doing, man. Like, I just want to give you your flowers before we get started. Definitely love what you're doing. Definitely pushing the culture forward. Definitely unbiased. Like, I know you get a lot of flack for what you do, man. But like we say in Memphis, dog, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
You ain't popping if you ain't got the haters. You ain't popping if you ain't got the haters. That's just life. So
that's a fact.
You watched the show a few times, you know what I'm saying? In my interviews, I like to start a little light, fluffy, you know what I'm saying? Making a conversation. Right. So since you was a wide receiver in the NFL, I just felt the need that you got to build me the perfect wide receiver. You got to build me the perfect one, all right? This is what I'm looking for. I need route running. I need catching. I need speed, clutch, and toughness is on you.
Route running. That's a toss-up. That's hard. Shoot. All right, route running, I'm going big game Torrey Holt.
Ooh, took it. Ooh, okay, I like that.
Catching, I'm going Larry Fitzgerald, without a doubt.
Okay, yeah, that's easy.
Speed, tempo, I'm going Randy Moss.
Ooh.
That's not a debate. Clutch gene. I'm going Jay Rice. I'm going with my HBCU guy.
Hey, E2, that's an easy.
Toughness, I'm going Mike Evans. Like, he's super aggressive at the point of attack, whether it's jump ball or blocking. Like, that dude is like, he'll kill you out there. So definitely.
Listen, I would have gave you 5 for 5, but toughness, I gotta go Steve Smith. I got like when you talking about
fire. Yeah, I ain't gonna knock that one.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna knock that one. Definitely.
I agree with everything you said, but toughness, it's just something about that boy Steve Smith is just make it different. And then that speed with Randy Moss, when that hand go up.
Yeah, that hand ain't even gotta go up in here. That hand ain't even gotta, that thing ain't even gotta go up. Dude was just different.
But man, that tall, that fast, unreal. Hey, your favorite sports movie?
Any Given Sunday.
Man, my name is Willie. Willie,
hey.
big.
Hey. Definitely, Any Given Sunday, yeah.
I like that. Your last vacation?
Senior Bowl.
Oh, okay. Take it. Hey, a job and a vacation at the same time.
Hey, that's the best way to do it.
Gotta blend it in. The last show you binged?
Ooh, Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
I heard that's pretty good. I can't get past
they need to come back with a second season. It's for real.
I can't get past the first season. Like I mean, like 2 episodes, I'll be like, this ain't me.
It's for real. It's for real. It's different, but it's easy to follow story mode. Like I like it. It's solid.
Okay.
It's solid.
What is something people would never guess about you?
I design clothes.
I
design clothes. Yeah, straight up.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
anything you got on that's designed right now? Anything that you got?
Everything I got on is mine. Yeah, I typically don't try to move around unless I'm wearing my own pieces.
Oh, that's what's up, man. I like that. I like the fit.
Man, free advertising, fresh break customs. Yeah, free advertising.
I like that. All right, last question. Any pregame routines or rituals you had to do before a game?
I always started off with like some slow jams. It helped me like relax my mind. Um, Definitely my senior year and like going into my rookie year, like I did a lot of like stretching, like meditating and yoga. But yeah, that was it. Soft music, calm music, moderate stretch routine, and then some kind of like something to center myself, whether it was like meditating or just laying there.
Okay. I like that. Let's get to some light questions. Did you play any sports other than football?
One of my favorite sports growing up was baseball. I played center field and short, but in the community I grew up in, well, in the city I grew up in, like there's a price tag that comes with baseball that we just couldn't afford. So I stopped playing baseball when I got to high school, and I really enjoyed baseball. And of course, when you're from Memphis, you play basketball because this is a basketball city. So I used to hoop too.
Okay, got to get the hooping in.
Yeah, and I ran one year of track in college. I don't know if that counts, but yeah, I ran 400 in college. Ran 400 in college, and I yeah, it's not for me.
He said, nah, I'm good. Yeah. And last, what life lessons has football taught you?
Man, in all things, work hard, man. And I know that's one of the cliche things, but your screws have to be loose a little bit to wake up for 5:30, 6 a.m. workouts, to go to class even though you're tired, and then to do the extra work in between class and practice, and then go to practice and then have film studies. So it's work, man. Like it's a daunting task and it's work. And if you want to do it, you got to get up and you got to do it.
Yeah. That's the only way to do it. AG, this next section is called Who Is, right? I'm gonna focus on some of your NFL time and then some of your training time. All right. Gotcha. So what player were you most starstruck about when you got to the league?
Reggie Wayne. I grew up watching that man. Like I was a Miami fan as a kid. And I used to watch those teams with him, Andre Johnson, Ken Dorsey, Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams. Like I grew up, like my dad was a huge Miami fan, so naturally I was a Miami kid. Like, yeah. So Reggie Wayne for sure. Got in the locker room and shared the locker room with him. That was crazy.
That's dope. Now, what player would you like to have played with while in the NFL?
Randy Moss. I mean, when I made the switch from quarterback to receiver, like that was like I watched a ton of his film. I watched workouts and stuff from Torrey Holt, which explains why Torrey Holt was my answer on route running. And I watched a lot of Chad Ochocinco. So, yeah, those three for sure. Like, yeah, that would have been insane.
Yeah, man, that would have been nice. And last one is, who is the most competitive out of the kids you've worked out? Like, I know you've worked out a lot of kids.
Oh my God.
The kid that you just like, man, he just would not leave the field. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to win.
I think it would be unanimous. Like it's difficult, but I think even the guys in the group would agree. There's a kid in 10th grade right now, and he should be in 9th grade, but he's ahead of grade. His name is Snap Reed. That kid is the most competitive kid I've probably been around. Like he wants to be better than everybody. He will tell you I'm better than you. Like he doesn't care who you are. Like I remember this kid was 10, 11 years old, and I had 2 5-stars on the field that ended up going Power 5. And he walked up to both of them and told them straight to their faces, I'm going to be better than you both. Like, and that's him as a kid. Like that's just, and we love him, but like he's just super, like he's the ultra competitor.
It's funny. As soon as you like this comment came in, right before you said something, the kid was like Mean Green. Snap Reed is a name to look out for in the future.
I'm telling that kid, man. That kid, he's a different kid, man. His brother Jordan is highly skilled, a super ball player, but just competitive, man. Like Snap really will tell you, like it could be a room full of former pros. It could be a room full of current pros. That kid will walk in there and say, I'm going to be better than all of y'all.
Gotta love that mindset. Gotta love the mindset. All right, let's get to some background. How was it growing up in Memphis?
Yeah, you know, when you're a kid in this environment, you're oblivious to what's going on around you. So in the era that I grew up in, there was a lot of sharing and caring, and activities and resources, and like you're oblivious to the world around you because there's so much going on. I think in this era, like as a coach and as an educator, like I just think there aren't as many resources as there were when I was growing up, and so now the kids are able to like stop and kind of observe the world around them. So I think it's night and day between when I grew up, like way back in the 90s, early 2000s, and what the kids are growing up in now. And like if you look at the social media aspect, like there was no social media, so now kids can see what happened down the street or across town in real time, and we weren't afforded that luxury or that nightmare in some cases.
All right, let's go even further back. Let's senior year out of high school. How was that? Your football experience? The recruiting. How did all that go down?
All right, so senior year of high school, I probably caught 25 passes. Like, and that sounds crazy, but I mean, just Memphis, man, we're a run heavy city, right? So I mean, you could be a big receiver or you could be a quarterback with a big arm, but if guys are just used to doing it a certain way, then they get set in their ways, and you're asking grown men to change for a kid, and it's just not going to happen. So I probably caught like 25 passes. I looked the part, so naturally I was going to be recruited. I didn't really do what I was supposed to do in the classroom, which is why I really pushed that on the guys that I coach right now. I ended up being a late qualifier, and I signed with Mississippi Valley State out of high school. So
I did some research. You signed with Valley. I know it's a kind of a crazy story. You get there, they say they don't have.
Man, that was.
Oh yeah, research. Oh yeah.
Man, I didn't want to do Valley like that, man. I didn't want to do Valley like that.
Well, some things fell through the cracks. All right. So
yeah. That's a good way to put it.
So things fell through the cracks, right? So you didn't end up going there. You come back home, and how did Lane come into the picture?
Man, the crazy thing is I went to 5 colleges, man, which is crazy in itself because no one ever really goes to that many schools and it still work out, right? So I went to 5 colleges. I was at MTSU before I got to Lane. So at MTSU, like I was trying to do the walk-home thing, and they told me flat out, the best thing we could do for you right now is, put you on scout team and let you show and earn your keep. And the receiver coach actually was honest with me and was like, man, don't stay here and waste your talent. So I was really honestly sitting there, looking at my schedule, looking at my transcript, and understanding that I wasn't far away from graduating. So I was just like, man, look, I'm ready for the next step in my life, man. I'm just gonna, hang football up and, go at this pre-physical therapy thing and, go to physical therapy school and do my thing. But I was at home, man, and somebody got me in contact with the head coach at Lane, and he basically sold me on now or never. He was like, man, I heard you still got some ability. I heard you still working out. So why not give us a shot, man? And I guess the rest is kind of history, man. Like, he gave me an opportunity, and I appreciate him for that.
Now, and how was your time at Lane? I think you did 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, I did 3, man. I did 3. So by the time I got to Lane, I had 3 years of eligibility left. Played my sophomore year there, and I kind of used that as my year to kind of get my feet back under me. I can't really remember my stats. I think I was over 400 yards, but it wasn't nothing crazy. And then my junior year, things just didn't work out. Man, we brought in a guy from a Division I, and if you know anything about Black college football, when you bring in a Division I guy that played Division I ball, the focus kind of goes toward him. And I wasn't upset about it. Like, I was that guy's like biggest fan. Like, we're people to this day. We're from the same city. But instead of them, having us, 1A, 1B, or 1 and 2, like, they kind of tried to pit us against one another. And that's why, like, my numbers dropped tremendously, like, between my sophomore and my junior year. And then, spring of my junior year, like, I had a chance to do the junior pro day, which is why I tell all the HBCU guys I get in contact with now, if you have a chance to have that junior pro day, make sure that you're prepared. That way, when you get out there, it doesn't matter if it's 1 scout or 2 or 30 or 32. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to get out there and do your job, because the gig is the gig, right? So I ran well, performed well, and I was fortunate to, and going into that fall, I was fortunate to see every team. So they came by, wanted to speak with me, wanted to watch me running around in practice. And it helped that my head coach had connections to the league because, you know, they basically took his word that I was a guy that was ready for that level. So, yeah. And other than football, man, Lane was like a tremendous school for me personally. Like I attained a crazy amount of knowledge of self, some information that I wasn't, you know, privy to before going there. And, you know, it's a theology school. So I took a lot of religion courses, and I had done the bulk of my undergrad work at MTSU. So I was able to just pad my schedule with classes that I was interested in. So I took creative writing. I took pre-cal. Like I just really just took stuff that I wanted to challenge myself academically too. So
That's dope.
I grew as a person. Yeah, I grew as a person at Lane College.
That's nice. Now, before we get into the transition from Lane to the NFL, what do you think about the Dion effect since you came from Lane? You know what I'm saying? You know the HBCU culture before it was hot, before it was a spectacle. So,
Right.
how do you feel about the effect that he's brought and the change that he's brought to the HBCU culture?
Man, I got mixed feelings about it, right? So I'm an HBCU guy, like before it was popular. Um, I can appreciate the eyes that are on the HBCU game. I don't always appreciate the intent behind the eyes that are on the HBCU game. Are we really there to give these kids an opportunity? Are we really here to appreciate the game that is the HBCU game? Because when you're playing HBCU football, it's not only about the game itself. It's the culture, it's the environment, it's the rhythm of the game. It's oh my God, like the culture of HBCU football was totally different for me, and it was eye opening. Um, can I appreciate the exposure that some HBCUs get? Yes. Do I think it is trickled down to Division II or to the SEAC, the conference I played in? Not necessarily.
Okay. Okay.
And
And
I know I'm gonna get
and
flack for that, but it is. It is what it is. Because to me, we've always had an opportunity to play on ESPN3. Yeah, we've always had like back in the day, like the conference I played in with like Morehouse, Tuskegee, Clark, all of them, they used to play on BET. So that was an outlet. Then CSTV came along like the era after that. So they had that opportunity. By the time I got in school, like we had ESPN3 games. And for Division II HBCUs, it's still ESPN3. So it's not like you're moving into a primetime slot. Now, is it good for schools like JSU, Grambling, and the SWAC? Yeah, but has it trickled down to like the rest of, out of line for speaking about Florida Memorial? But to me, they're like Lane. Like you got Lane, you got schools like Florida Memorial, you got Langston out in Oklahoma. I don't feel like the game has changed for like that landscape at all.
Yeah, got you. That makes sense. Now, when did the NFL come into the picture? Like you was like, yo, I know you talk about your junior pro day, your senior year, were you getting a lot of buzz, agents reaching out to you, scouts talking to you more? How did that come about? And then go into your journey to the NFL.
Well, after the junior pro day, things kind of really got to a point where it was like, this thing could be real, right? So they gave me a benchmark where they wanted me to run mid to low 4.5s, and I did better than that. So after that, the conversation started. Not only is this guy a big guy, but he can move a little bit, right? So then it was make sure that your numbers or your stats match the numbers that you gave us on your pro day. Like if you're showing us that you can run, whether it's high 4.4s or low 4.5s, if you're showing that, then your film has to match it. And so like I was really intentional about making sure that my speed on tape matched the speed that I had at my pro day or whatever. So after that, like, of course, like I said, I met with scouts that fall. We had guys trickling in during the season. Then after the season, I did a couple of interviews with like some growing like scouting channels, and like Twitter had a little buzz on Twitter. Now Twitter wasn't what it is now, but we had a little buzz on Twitter. And so like with all of that going on, I was like, maybe we got a real shot at this thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now you get a call. How did you feel when when you got the call, like, yo, like, you want to come play for the Colts? How was that? Can you hear me? G, can you hear me? All right, I'm gonna kick him out, guys, and I'm gonna have him come back in. All right, so somebody said, I think he got Spectrum. I know the pain. I know the pain. Trust me, I know the pain. Let him come back in. But his Wi-Fi is messing up. Yeah. Somebody said AOL dial-up. It's hard out here if you got Spectrum, man. It is hard out here in these streets. I'm trying to tell you, man. I be having to triple check my internet now just before I go on. Not a game. Not a game. Make sure, listen, I have posted the clip of the journey of the court case today. Make sure you share and retweet it. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. Make sure you share. Make sure you retweet. My Twitter is offscript_TV. If you see it, make sure you share it. Hey, Paris, that Xfinity? Paris, that's what I'm trying to get to Atlanta. That Xfinity is real. I'm telling you. That Xfinity is so real. When they say 300 up and 300 down, that thing be moving. That's what I'm trying to get to Atlanta. That's what I'm trying to get to Atlanta. I'm trying to tell you right now. I did upgrade my router. You're talking to an IT guy. I did. I bought me a Netgear router. I don't use the Spectrum jank. So, yeah, man, Paris, that jank, you could be on Wi-Fi and it feel like you're on a wired connection. It's so good. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I'm telling you right now. Absolutely. I wish Xfinity was here. We trying to get Verizon, but somebody don't want to commit. Somebody don't want to commit. Somebody don't want to commit. Hey, Yogi, shout out to you, bro. I was rewatching the stream today, and I saw you. Some of the comments you said, boy, you a fool. All right, I was literally busting out laughing at some of the comments you wrote. You was like, "Don't make me use this, boy. You stupid. Something's wrong for some." Yeah, Verizon they just added Verizon fiber in our area, so I'm gonna try to get it, but somebody won't commit. Somebody won't commit. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. I got a Verizon bill, okay? So I can't. I got a Verizon. One of them. You just left and you ain't paid a bill. I got one of those. My significant other is free and clear, but she won't get the internet. So I gotta jump around and do all this stupid, crazy stuff to make my internet work. And she's just sitting over there. I'm like, we wouldn't have this problem if you would have just got Verizon. If you would just get Verizon. And it's month to month. It's not like she got to commit for like 2 years. It's month to month. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully she'll be a part of the team and, it doesn't feel like it. 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 Well, you could have got Verizon. You could have got Verizon. I'm not. That's not what I said. Am I not a part of the team? Hey, G, I don't see you.
Man, I don't know what this thing doing, man. We had this ice storm out here, man, and everything is screwed up. Like, I'm really trying to figure out what's going on with this thing. Like, I don't know, man. You know how Memphis is. They left us for dead out here, man.
Hey, you sound good though. We can keep it going. You sound good.
Say less. Say less.
All right, so Going to the CFL. Did the CFL ever come into play after your NFL stint?
Yeah, man. So it was kind of a tricky situation. So I came home. I actually came home to be with my fiance at the time because we were with child and we were going into labor. He didn't make it out of labor, and so that kind of changed the way that everything looked for me. Like when your why isn't your why anymore, it kind of alters the way that you think and you move. And then my fiance, who's my wife now at the time, when she had got sick for about an additional 2 weeks and was in the hospital, the last thing on my mind was football. And so my agent was calling me and was telling me basically that I was throwing my career, my life away. And I had to let him know, like, dude, it's bigger than just football right now. Like, my world is crumbling before me. And so CFL kind of came into the picture like the spring of 2015. I went down and went to their mini camp. It was down in Bradenton, Florida. It was a different experience, man. So anytime guys say they're going to go to Canada, I always, take my hat off to them because I understand what that ground looks like, and I understand the uncertainty, and I also understand the lack of resources in that game. So I actually made the decision not to go to Canada, even though they invited me out to training camp.
Oh, wow. Okay. So now, so that opportunity goes, you start training in the area, and now recently you were brought on to the 2022 Senior Bowl list. How did the 2022 Senior Bowl position come about? And can you see me? You can see me,
yeah,
right?
I can see you. Yeah. You're good. Yeah.
Right.
I'm a blank screen out here.
You good. Go ahead.
So the DFO, the director of football operations, he was in the Memphis area. We actually had a camp together this summer. So
that's dope.
We threw a camp this summer for the kids in Memphis. It was a free camp. They came out. They learned the game of football from our perspectives. We gave them ACT prep. We hooked them up with this young lady that's based out of Orlando that works with collegiate athletes, trying to get them eligible for Division I football. So it was kind of a big deal. While he was here, like, I had a group of kids on the field. He was able to see what we do, how I interacted with the kids, not only how I interacted with the kids, but the level of work that we had. So from that, I reached out to him because I'm the type of person, if I build a network or a relationship with an individual, I try to reach out to him. Just like, you and I, spoke in the past, and I, extended the olive branch to you.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. So I reached out to the brother, and I was like, man, if there's an opportunity, I would like to just be a fly on the wall at the HBCU Combine. And he was like, man, give me a couple of days and I'll call you back. And when he called back, it was not only an opportunity to, work the HBCU Combine, but also work the week of the Senior Bowl. So I really just felt like it wasn't necessarily the work that I was doing, but the fact that I was, steadfast and like persistent about just being in the place and not trying to take over. Because, sometimes we'll be like, man, I want to go and I want to do this and that. And I'm like, man, like I humble myself enough to say, man, I just want to go and just be there to witness it.
Man, that's a small listen to and not saying that it's diminishing yourself, because that's not what it is. It's just taking an opportunity whichever way it comes.
Right. 100%.
Once you get into that environment, in that arena, the people you meet,
right,
in the networking you've done to get there, and now when you're there to network even more, just builds your pipeline to know more and to get more later down the line. Right. So I used to always call it, I'm like, I'll take the loss on the front end, you know what I'm saying, to get the bigger reward on the back end, because that's what it's all about.
And
now,
it's our perspective, man. Like who's to say it's a loss on the front end? Right?
That's
like
fair.
Like if you're in an environment that you want to be in, that you may or may not have been privy to being in, and then no matter if you're coaching or just there holding a camera, and not to diminish people that hold the camera, because there's no way we're going to do anything that we do without a cameraman or camerawoman. But if whatever my role is, do my role to the best of my ability, and when there's an opportunity to network.
Facts.
And that's just it.
Facts. Now, what did you take away from the Senior Bowl in your time there? And let's say and I didn't know you was at the HBCU Combine as well, but what did you take away from both events?
The HBCU from the HBCU Combine, like as an HBCU guy, and this is not a perspective from somebody from the outside just coming in, or somebody from the outside not even like intentional about being on the inside. The thing that I took away from the HBCU Combine is we still have quite a bit of work to do as coaches, as alums. Like we have a ways to go, because we always push this narrative that there's not equal opportunity for us, and I agree with that. But then there's also something to be said about us not really preparing our guys for the opportunity. And it's not always necessarily what they do on the field. Like that has something to do with it. But you also have to prepare your guys for when a camera is in their face, or prepare your guys for when they got to meet a deadline and be available and be on time. Like all of that stuff matters. Now, is it always fair? No. Do they always hold us to like a higher regard and wait on us to fail? Yes. But don't, like my dad used to say when I was growing up, don't give them the ammunition and the gun and take it off safety. If you have to be somewhere at 6 o'clock, be there at 5:30. And I'm not saying that's what happened at the Combine at all, but I'm just saying, like, from the inside looking in, that's some of our hang up. Like, I came out of Lane College to go pro, and I don't feel like I was totally ready. That's just me being honest. We had an awesome offensive coordinator that was trying to be the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach, and running back coach. Ooh. And he basically put me in charge of making sure our receivers did what they were supposed to do day to day. If you're a player, there's no way possible you're going to be able to maximize who you are and who you can be if as a player you're also coaching. Now, hindsight 2020, did it make me a better coach in the future? Yes. But I think as HBCUs and as an alum, I think we can do a better job preparing our guys.
Yeah, Greg, man, listen. You know, the funny thing is being in this space and me being new to the HBCU culture, I think the first thing that I noticed was the lack of media exposure.
Right, 100%. 100%.
That HBCUs get, but it goes twofold. You don't want to give your players media exposure. You don't want them to do interviews with outside platforms, yet you won't even teach them how to be properly prepared.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're trying to hoard all, because the players are what make your program. Your
100%.
Your program has legacy, not because of the name, it's because of the players that have came through, or coaches or whatever. If you took all the players away from Grambling and you just told somebody Grambling, they'd be like, you mean that school in Louisiana?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll take it a step further. Your players make your university. Like football drives revenue at the schools, at every school. It doesn't matter what level it is.
Facts.
Like homecoming is huge. Like homecoming and basketball homecoming at HBCUs aren't as big as football homecoming at HBCUs. So we just call a spade a spade. Like, man, just like you said, as far as media, like you have to do interviews for the league. And if you're not used to somebody sitting in front of you, asking you hard questions, asking you the stuff that you don't want to talk about, putting a camera in your face, because there was a franchise at the Senior Bowl when we were doing our official interviews that had cameras on a guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they do that to see, to read tendencies. Does he twitch when he lies? Does he look down when he gets a hard question and he doesn't want to answer? Like, all of that stuff matters. And if we are taking a step toward like even remotely trying to make this an even playing field, I would rather us look within and do a little bit more within before we look outside.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, I know you've heard about all the hoopla with JSU and Tennessee State. What were your initial thoughts when JSU was trying to pull out the Southern Heritage Classic? That's the first part. And then the second part is, what impact does the Southern Heritage Classic have on the city of Memphis?
All right. So when I first heard that they were pulling out, I initially, like everybody else, felt like, they were going for a bigger game to make some money. Because if JSU played, let's just say it was JSU ended up getting an Ole Miss game. Like that's revenue that you bring in not only to your football program, but also to your school. And you can get them some exposure. So I understood the business side of that. The thing that the problem that I had with it, or the issue that I felt about it was, there's not many long-standing classics like JSU, TSU. Now, you have other HBCU classics where they can kind of piece together different teams, because I know at one point it was Alabama A&M, Alabama State. Then one year was Alabama State and Tuskegee. Like, we played in a couple of classics when I was at Lane, but the Southern Heritage Classic is long-standing, and it's always been JSU, TSU, to my knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. Or as long as I've been living. So when I seen they were pulling out from a culture standpoint, I felt like it was like HBCU football was going to take a hit from that. And then from like a local standpoint, as a Memphis guy, like, I understand what the Southern Heritage Classic does for Black-owned businesses in this city. You know what I mean? Like, when most of the time when HBCU folks come to a city, they want to patronize Black business. So you see a spike in the, revenue or the, finances from Black-owned businesses here. Then not only that, like, you get the culture from Nashville and Jackson, and then sprinkle in a little bit of Memphis, and like that experience down there is second to none. We had a conversation in a group chat of mine where my brother actually was like, man, I don't know about the classic. Like, I don't know if it's real football. Most people go to see the bands. And I had to explain to him, like, as a person that's been on the field in an environment like kind of similar to that, it's not necessarily like the band or the entertainment. It's the rhythm of the game. Like, you can feel the bands on the field. Like, you know how they say we as people, like, we can feel the wavelengths of music. Like, it's different. We come from the African drum, right? So, like, it's just a different experience. And then on the outside of it, of course, there's a lot going on, but it's like a huge, like family reunion for real, because you're going to see people that you may not have seen since the last classic, or in some cases, sometimes you haven't seen this person since y'all graduated college. So it's just it's different, man. And I'm glad, like, they're trying to make amends to that, because it would have been sad to see JSU pull out of it.
Ooh, I think it's only for 1 year, but we will see how that goes in the future. Now, you have been a staple in the Memphis area as a trainer. How did you get into that lane?
Man, kind of saw the need for it. not trying to be funny, man. So again, like I said, I grew up as a quarterback and a receiver. Mm-hmm. I had never had a position coach really until I got to the league. You got a guy that goes to 5 colleges trying to figure it out, get to the league, and you're like, look, man, I'm learning all of this stuff on the fly and learning this game, and like, it's kind of like a computer overload. And so basically, when I came home, I kind of stayed away from it. But then, like, my first couple of Memphis, like, I had 3 kids in Jackson, Tennessee, where my school was. Mm-hmm. But then after they did really well and I saw that the method worked, I was like, you know what? Why would I deprive my city and the kids in my city of the information when I'm seeing that it works? And so my first 2 players were this kid named James Randall Jr., who's currently at Fort Valley State University, mm-hmm. An HBCU in the SEAC conference, and Quincy Casey, quarterback at Alabama A&M, a team in the SWAC. So once we saw them grow and they grew exponentially, then kind of word just kind of traveled. And then, you get a couple of guys here, you get a teammate there, and then, man, you look up, man, and you got a close-knit family of ball players that want to grow and be developed.
That's dope. Now, what are some of your techniques as a trainer? I know you can't give all the secret sauce out, but what's some of the few steadfast points that you try to put into your players when you're training them?
Man, I just try to be simple, man. I try to be functional in my approach. We don't do 1,000,001 Instagram drills, as I call them. We're not putting 1,000,000 cones out. No, I'm not, and I'm not disrespecting anybody. Yeah. But my personal opinion is, if I got 101 cones on the field, there's no way I'm coaching anybody. The cones are doing the coaching. So we script everything that we do. So all the work that we do is intentional. The drills that we do that lead into the script or the routes on air directly reflect what we're going to do for the day. I make sure that we're talking coverages with the quarterbacks. We work more than just gun. We work on the center. We work drops. Like, I just give them the complete experience. Some days we come out and it's all West Coast, where we got a mix of under center and gun. Some days it's all air raid, where we're either gun or pistol, and everything is from either 3x1, 2x2, or 3x2 standpoint. So just trying to give them the complete experience. And that's my technique. Be as simple as possible, but be as functional and efficient as possible.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Just the way you're talking about it, I love it. Now, do people sleep on the talent that comes out of Memphis?
I think people are aware of the talent that comes out of Memphis because we got talent by the boatloads. I think there's a little bit of hesitation to take Memphis kids because of the perception of a Memphis kid.
And what's that? And if you don't mind me saying, what's the perception that you feel that the Memphis kids have?
They assume that most of our kids are a product of their environment. You can look at the news or the stats, like they assume, because Memphis is a, highly impoverished city, or because there's a lot of crime, that the kids that come out of the city that are playing sports are of that. But most of the time, if you got a kid that's playing sports, he's not playing sports and doing that. The kids that typically do that just do that only, right? And the kids that play sports typically just play sports. But if you're not of that cloth, like, there's no way that I can expect you to have that level of understanding. Like, I grew up in a rough neighborhood, but when I was growing up, the people around me saw the good in me and told me, hey, you can't do this. They wouldn't allow me to do it. And I think that still goes on here. But again, if you're not of that cloth, I can't expect you to know that or even be privy to it.
Oh man, that's deep. I got a few more questions, then another section, then we're gonna get you up out of here. All right. Now, being a trainer, how has the transfer portal hurt the high school prospect?
Oh my God, dude, look here, man. So just look, and it's not even my perspective. I always try not to give my opinion too much on stuff. I like to deal with experience. From personal experience, talking to college coaches, the portal has killed high school prospects and even JUCO prospects, because a coach would much rather, and you can look at the highest level of this thing, a coach would much rather pick a guy that's proven, even if it's a level under their game. They would rather pick a guy that's proven than go after the potential or a possible kid that I have to develop from high school. So basically, the kid that used to be an FBS guy, unless you're like a 5 or 4-star, you may fall to FCS. The kid that was an FCS kid, because he may missed a couple of tools here and there to be an FBS guy, they've now fallen to Division II, and then so on and so forth. Like, it's bumped down like that.
Wow.
And then you got the Deion effect. So now you got, the 5-stars going to FCS. So it's really kind of, and I'm not it makes it more competitive. It makes the level, the playing field a little more level. But for those kids that would have snuck into a Division II program, they're now low level Division II or NAIA.
Oh man. So what do you tell kids, when they're going through this experience coming out of high school? Are you telling them, hey, get a scholarship, where you can, and then work your way up if that's what you want to do? Let's say if you get a D2, you get a scholarship from D2, look, prove yourself and then go in the portal and come up. What is your advice, or just ball out where you're at?
I mean, the conversation is the same for all my guys, whether they're FBS or NAIA or JUCO. Do your job. No matter where your job is, do your job. Go to class, do your work, get done early, try to graduate early. And if you have an opportunity to transfer, and if that's your will, do so. But the name of the game is to go to school and get an education. And then you leave the off season, so you're going to be developed in school if you go to a quality program. And even if you don't, when you come home, the level of work that we're going to do is going to be college level or better, right? So the gig is the gig, the work is the work. No matter where you are, you gotta do your job, and that's just it. Whether I'm a role player or I'm a backup, if I'm a backup, I'm gonna push the number one. That's just it. If you're the number 2 or if you're the number 3, you're pushing the number 2 and the number 1, which is why we saw a couple of years ago or last year, one of our guys got a chance to get in and lit it up. The kid was number 3 or number 2. They finally threw him in on national TV, and the kid goes 30 or 31 for 42 and 340 yards and 4 touchdowns with no picks, because of the mentality that we all, pour into one another. We don't have to be the guy or the big time guy. Just give us an opportunity, and when we get in, we're going to do our job. That's just it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. A couple more questions. Now, you've always taught your kids yoga. Why is that?
I know what yoga did for my game. One of the biggest components, or one of the biggest helpers of like the growth between my junior and my senior year, was just the level of centeredness I got. So that off season between junior and senior year, like, man, I tried everything. Like they said, leave no stone unturned. I tried P90X. Like that was insane. Didn't really like that. Got introduced. Oddly enough, the same gym that I was driving to that they hosted P90X. We had an elder lady in there that did a yoga class, and I, decided to step in there because my mentor ran the gym, and he was like, "Man, just go try it out." And man, just the flow of the breath, because there's a challenge in yoga too, and I was always a person that was competitive, so the challenge of yoga, like being within yourself, being centered, not allowing a pose or a stretch to get the best of you. I knew what it did for me. And then once I started introducing it to our players, I think in large part because we don't cool down and we don't stretch after practice, we don't cool down and stretch after sessions. So I just wanted to introduce that recovery standpoint to them and hope that they would take it with them when they go off to school. And in large part, my guys have. And then when we come home, they make sure that we do it. Like we continue to practice. So, and then as an educator, man, I've introduced yoga and meditation to kids that, may have a little bit of a behavior issue. And I've seen it work wonders for them. So just the flow of the breath, man, like you begin to be mindful and like take your mind and your focus off of all the stuff that goes on around you. Like all of these cell phones and gadgets and stuff, man, and you finally get a chance to just be still and just be and breathe. Like it's life changing.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to give me some yoga in my life while you playing. I ain't even joking.
Man,
now,
for real.
Now a lot of people might not know. You trained QC for most of his life. What makes him a special quarterback?
Man, the kid is a competitor. He's always been an underdog. Oddly enough, man, and he probably hate me for saying this, the man had a coach in high school that told him he would not play quarterback. And this was like right before we started working with him. Told him he wasn't going to play quarterback, tried to put a running back in front of him. And literally the kid would call us every day to go work. Like, and when he got there, like he would work like it's nobody's business. So one of the things that I feel like really makes him special is his eagerness to learn and work. Like there's some people that would do the work and complain about the work or say they're tired, but the kid has a motor. Like, and I need to stop saying kid because the brother's like 21 now. This man a grown man, bro. Like that man, like his ability to work, his well-roundedness. Like that man can speak with the guy in the boardroom or the guy parking the car and just be himself in both environments. Like he did really well in high school. He was a part of Bridge Builders here in Memphis. That's like one of the bigger programs, like summer programs for academia. Like he's not just a football player. Like he has a business mind. He has a pro mentality. Like the kid's just he's a phenomenal kid. Like whatever he does in life, whether it's football or he decides to do something with his major, Quincy Casey is going to do phenomenal.
Quincy Casey! You know what it is. They know what it is. These streets. All right, last section is called This or That. I'm going to give you two options and you pick the best one for you, all right?
Gotcha.
All right. Text or call?
Text.
All right. City or country?
Country.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird. I go to sleep at 9:30.
Catch a touchdown pass or throw a touchdown pass?
That's heavy. Oh man. Come
on, QB.
God, that's heavy. All right, as a person that has done both, I'll say catch a TD pass. It's a little bit. I could be a little more disrespectful catching one.
Okay. Now I just guessed because I know a lot of Tennessee people are Cowboys fans or Titans fans. So which Cowboys or Titans? What we doing?
I have to pick.
Are you a fan of either? If you're not a fan of
either, I'm not a fan of either.
Okay. All right. So I just assumed that was on me. All right. Zaxby's or Guy's chicken?
Oh man, that man said God's chicken. We don't eat meat in my house, brother.
Oh no! That boy said vegan.
Yeah,
So
we don't eat meat in my house.
Broccoli or carrots?
Oh man, broccoli.
Yeah. That's more
My
like.
little girl said carrots though. She yeah.
My oldest daughter, she loves some carrots, but I'm like, man, that thing is like snap wood.
Man.
I
don't get it, but yeah, my little girl like carrots too.
Ugh. All right, last one. iPhone or Android?
Come on, man, iPhone.
Hey, G, listen, man, this is your time. Your shout outs, plug your business, plug what you're doing in Memphis, and shout out to everybody.
Man, shout out to the Fast Break family, man. All of those guys that represent not only myself and themselves, but also represent their brand. They do well in school. Them brothers are, man, pillars in the communities they live in. Like, I work with a really good group of guys. Shout out to my guy, Christian Wilkinson. He cracked the 53-man roster for the New England Patriots this year.
Shout out.
He had 4 catches for 2 touchdowns. Also got a guy, Jalen Moore, with the Baltimore Ravens. He did pretty good this year. Man, shout out to Quincy Casey, of course, man. I can't be on this publication without shouting him out. The kid was faced with some adversity, got a lot of backlash, but he's still doing the work and unafraid and not caring what nobody's doing. Man, I also want to shout out this kid, Janaj Johnson, man. He decided to make a move and transfer to a Division II, and he betted on himself, and he said, man, I'm going to go do it regardless. Also, shout out to James Randall, a kid that I got, early, one of the first kids that believed in anything that I'm doing. He was the absolute first kid in Memphis to give me an opportunity.
That's what's up.
He didn't really have the senior year that he wanted, and he was still able to sign a scholarship with Fort Valley State, and he chose an HBCU. So I want to shout out everybody in Memphis that's doing positive things. Definitely want to shout out my wife, Jamesia, because none of this is possible without her. I want to shout out my daughter, Garvey K. Moore. Like, none of this is possible without her. I just want to shout out my network, my entire network. Jeremy Smith, like, I would not have been working with Quincy Casey if it wasn't for his brother believing in what I do and believing in my mission and my brand. There's a ton of people I want to thank, man, and I know some people going to watch this and say, bro, you missed me. But, dog, I want to thank everybody that has had a tremendous influence on what I do, who I am. Definitely got to shout out my parents and my siblings, man. Like, hey, man, I'm a very lucky person, bro. Like, dude, like, there's a lot that I'm able to do right now that I wouldn't be able to do without my network. So I'm very grateful for my network. Michael Cole with the Senior Bowl, Director of Football Operations. Michael Cole.
Hey, you better put him up.
Michael Cole. Man, look, Michael Cole was, listen, bro, like, all jokes aside, we went to the same high school. This guy was a legend at my high school.
Oh, no bull.
He was drafted out of Alabama State as a DB. Dude, Michael Cole is the guy. I appreciate you, brother. I tell you this all the time, bro. Like, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for what you're doing for the game. I appreciate everything you're doing, your walk, everything, brother. I appreciate you wholeheartedly.
That's what's up. Man, listen, I be trying to have people do shout outs. That's how shout outs are supposed to go. You're supposed to have a list of people that be like, yo, let me roll up my list. You know what I'm saying?
Man, bro.
And it's music.
Man, and it's really more people than that, man. My big brother, Jeremy, dog, like, I wouldn't even be playing football if it weren't for him. Like, that man was the football player. And I was just a little brother going to practice, and like, it ended up working out for me. So
that's what's up.
Definitely, man. Gotta thank my network.
Hey, man, G, appreciate you for coming on, man. I hope you get through that ice storm, my guy. And y'all be safe out there. And, keep doing your thing, man. We're gonna stay linked up.
Man, appreciate you, dog. None of this is possible today without you, brother. So, hey, folks got to start giving you your flowers and stop hating, bro. Straight up.
Sooner or later, they're going to come around, G. They're going to come around sooner or later. Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Brother.
All right, man. You too. All right, man. That's my man, G. Greg Monroe. All right, trainer in Memphis. Listen, if you're in Memphis area, you got kids out in the Memphis area, anybody in the Memphis area is looking to be trained, Greg Monroe. Let me give you his Twitter. His Twitter name is FBO_. All right, FBO_. Frank It's Foxtrot Bravo Whiskey Oscar _ That is his name. All right, listen. We can do a little after show, Miss Glenn. What y'all want to talk about for a little bit? I got a little time on my hand. Got a little time on my hands. All right. So it's whatever you guys want to talk about. We can talk about real quick. If not, I'm gonna take my butt on the bed. Yeah. You know, I've been working, man. I'm a working man. I'm a working man. Oh man. I'll say this. I am thinking about having an appeal show. All right. I'm going to throw that out there. I am thinking about having an appeal show for people versus Laxon State. All right. I talked to Judge Smoke. He said he is willing to hear the appeal case of Laxon State. Okay. So I'm going to reach out. I'm going to make sure Judge Smoke is on board. Okay. I'm going to make sure Judge Smoke is on board, but I will let you guys know. When Judge Smoke hears the appeal case, and then we'll make that happen for you guys. All right. So, you know, that's just me looking out for you Laxon State fans. I was reading the comments. I was watching the show live with everybody else. When you guys are talking about everything. Valley schedule. Now I'm gonna do a video separate about that. Fisk has a gymnastic team. That's what's up. Some people say, you know, they can't believe Fisk. We got a gymnastics team. That's what I'm talking about. I better get paid for that time. Smoke ducking me in. Oh man, legal counsel needs time for discovery. You better get your notes together. All right, you better get your notes together. Judge Smoke, don't play that. All right, take that up with Judge Smoke. You better get your notes together. All the counselors out here. Was Judge Smoke appointed or elected? Okay, so the judge in his district died. So he was appointed, all right? Then he ran for office and won. Just going to make that very clear. So I'm going to say it again. The person that was in his district passed away. God rest his soul. All right? He stepped up in the position. All right, filled it for the necessary time, re-ran for office. So it was actually both. All right. He was appointed and then he won his election. See, y'all trying to come for my man. But you know, Jethro, he's the real deal. All right, Jethro's the real deal. Holyfield. All right, so y'all can talk all that smack if you want to. All right, Jethro is the real deal. Judge Smoke got real heated about that darn. Listen, Judge Smoke is not for the foolishness. All right. Judge Smoke is not. I will not listen. I'm not speaking on that. Listen, that's public information, or probably private because he passed away, but I'm not speaking on that. I am not speaking on that. Now back to this original point. Judge Smoke got real heated about that darn J Hart. Listen. There's certain ways you have to come about in somebody's courtroom, all right? And when I was watching it on the stream, I was like, how is Dion going to come in this man's courtroom wearing a J hat? Now, how disrespectful is that? That's just how I felt when I was watching it. But, you know, y'all can give me your own opinions, but that's just how I felt. A&M wants to file a class action lawsuits against the defendant. Oh, man. Listen, we can talk to. Listen, Judge Smoke is always open for more cases. Judge Jethro Smoke is always open for more cases. Okay, his caseload is never too big. Putting cases on all you. Shoot program, 23-hour lockdown. Pelican Bay, what I get through with you. You need to get Jay Walker on here like you got. I actually hit him up in the Twitter. He hasn't responded to me. I think he feels he's a little too big for little old me. You know. So we'll see. We shall see. But I'm gonna keep pushing. All right. Putting cases on all you Bamas. You know how I go. Case. The case in Alcorn is pending. Yep. I saw that. I heard that's on his case file. I heard that's on his case file. You know what I'm saying? He's debating if he's going to take it. I do. I have heard that information. I have. And between me and you, all right, from a little birdie, I heard there's a class action lawsuit getting brought up against the SWAC and their double dealings with the Southern Heritage Classic. Listen, you didn't hear that from me though, okay? That's just a little birdie that told me that, but you didn't hear that from me. So be very, very leery of what might be coming down the pipe, okay? So, go to bed. All right, guys, that is my time. Until next time, allegedly, okay? So until next time, you know what first of all, like the stream. And if you're not a member, become a member. All right, listen, I'm telling you, the team of me, the team and everybody behind Off Script we're working for the memberships. I'm telling you, when this membership plan drops and all the things we got working, you're going to be like, damn, I need to become a member. All right. So might as well do it now. Join the people, join the plan, be a part of the community. All right. And Verizon, right? Verizon. No, I was doing an interview. Oh, wow. Yeah, support. Until next time, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to holla. God bless.